This is a question for the men. If you're not a man, keep scrolling. Okay, so men, why are we hating women? Why are we hating women? I feel like women are hating men and men are now hating women. They don't want to get married. They don't want to live with them. They, they just want to be single forever. Like, what's going on here? Are all you men into men now? Like, what's going on? I'm so confused. I feel like we're creating a divide here, folks. Can we come back together? I love men. And I want men to start loving women again. Like, I don't know. What do we need to do? Let me know and I can try to get the congregation together and we could try to move forward so we can all start loving each other again. I don't know. What am I missing? Can you please fill me in? I'm very, 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 very confused. Okay, thanks.
We don't hate women at all. We actually love women. But for years we've been told, stay away. We don't want you. We want the bear. And it's all men until it's no men. So now we're simply giving back the distance we were asked for.
My female coworker has already 39 people she's talking to on a dating app.
See, the only thing that I run into when it comes to that is that you started this 3 days ago. 2 days ago. Do you realize, for guys, we have to wait, weeks to get, likes, let alone a person that we are interested in.
Now, don't get me wrong, I feel for this man. He wants love like anybody else. But the thing about it is there are some men that feel a certain sense of entitlement for wanting certain women. And when they can't get that, they get frustrated. That's why they get mad at the rich aunties. How dare you be rich and attractive and fit and have all these things going for yourself and you don't want a man? I feel like they feel like women belong to them. So how dare you play hard to get? If I'm on a dating app, why aren't you throwing yourself at my feet? And they get frustrated when it doesn't work out like that. The fact that women have collectively decided to raise their standards is something that frustrates so many single men. Because as I said it before, and I'll say it many times again, settling is how a lot of them get picked. They don't want to come to the table with things that women actually want. They want to come to the table with money because that has been the easy solution for decades and decades and decades. But women are making their own money, so we're asking, what else you got? And a lot of them are tapping all over the place because they don't know what else they have. They can't add emotional intelligence, that they're kind, that they're patient, that they're romantic, that they know how to listen, or whatever it is. They can't add anything besides money. So when you say, I don't need your money, they don't know what else they can offer you. So they get frustrated with the women. Why aren't you throwing yourselves at us? If my life is already amazing and fulfilled, for you to come in here, you're not going to come in here and disturb the peace. You're either going to add to it, but I will never let you take anything away.
What they fail to understand is this. Out of all those matches she gets, she'll be lucky if even one turns into something real.
As a single woman, I'm getting a little worried when I scroll on this app that all of the good single men, 30-year-olds and up, or near that range, if they're single, they're staying inside and doing exactly what I would want to do, which is binge a show and order and take out. Why when I'm scrolling, I'm seeing all these cute men who look like they have their head on their shoulders. They probably don't. Let's just be fucking real. But they're all staying inside. What I'm trying to do is text a girlfriend and be like, hey, you know what? Instead of me cuddling into bed and binging all of Real Housewives, let's go out. Because I'm just hoping that one day, I meet my husband, meet cute randomly. I got to go out and do that, right? I have to, actually put myself out there. I have to actually do my makeup and, put on a cute outfit and do that, Crazy concept. But I have a fear that all of the good single 30-year-old men are doing the opposite. Hey, get out there. Please. Stop ordering takeout by your fucking self and wait for me to be there with you to do it, okay? Fuck, literally, I don't... Probably gonna run into a douchebag. Pray for me.
Truth is, we simply don't want to be bothered anymore. It really is that straightforward.
Last night I went on a walk with a friend. She and I were catching up. I hadn't seen her in a while. And she asked me about my love life, which I never talk about on this platform. but I thought this story was worthy of your consideration. I shared with her the experience that made me realize that dating apps were not for me. I had matched with this gentleman, and we were having an initial conversation, and he starts to ask me about my work. Now, because I know the scale of work that I do and the many accomplishments that has come with it, I really don't bring it up. I don't talk about it. I never lead with that. And so I keep it really general. I said, well, I'm an educator and I'm really passionate about mental health. And so he's like, oh, okay, this is great. What exactly do you teach? What level do you teach? And so I share that information, and the questions become more and more pointed to the point where I'm like, okay, we're having the work conversation. And so I provide a brief summary of the work that I do in terms of my career, my scholarship, and the platform that I have built on social media. And his response was, but can you cook a pot of greens? There's a word for this. Actually, there's a few words for this, but the word is called negging, not nagging, not N-A-G, N-E-G. Negging is backhanded compliments or seemingly playful compliments that are designed to take you down a peg, to put you in your place. And if I was a different woman, I could have laughed it off like, ha, 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 you so crazy. But I'm not that woman. And so a few things crystallized for me in that moment. Number one, love would not find me in this manner. Number two, the work that I do puts me in rooms that I would not be able to leave him in unattended, lest he say something inappropriate and then have people questioning my judgment. And number three, I could not help but wonder, would you have asked a white woman this question? Would you have asked a white woman, can you cook a pot of greens? Which I can, by the way, but that's not the point, is it? It gave me some perspective about his perception of black women, of dating a black woman, and that regardless of what I accomplished in this life, that my value would always be tied to my output, my labor, and my service, my willingness to serve. And so I will leave you with this. Be wary of anybody who looks at all that you are and sees you as a resource to be used rather than a person to be loved.
Another clear example. Good men are stepping away, and the dating apps are basically left to the chads.
Reason 1,000,001 why the dating apps fucking suck is the men on there are ass fucking ugly. Y'all literally built the fire, then climbed into the pot. You decided amongst yourselves that putting effort into how you look, caring about your appearance, means you're gay. Now you're unattractive and women don't want to be with you. And yet you somehow still feel entitled to having an attractive, intelligent partner. But then she makes you feel insecure because you don't like how you look. You don't feel good about yourself. You lack self-confidence, and then you blame her. If you don't put effort into how you look and how you present yourself, why would I think you're going to put effort into me and our relationship if you can't even do it for yourself? Take a fucking shower, get a haircut, get a skincare routine, and start wearing some better clothes that fit and look good. Put some fucking effort in, and you may start getting some more matches. And if you're going to be offended by this, I would strongly suggest you look at the amount of matches you have and take a look at yourself. Do something about it.
Men end up suffering the most in this chaos, swiping endlessly, searching for connection, only to be used for attention, validation, or emotional support. Dating apps turned vulnerability into a transaction, leaving good men drained, cynical, and emotionally shut down.
You can't tell a woman to lower her expectations, but the reality is, what the data I've seen on dating apps is that all of the women want the same few guys, and they shut out the rest.
Yeah, okay, so there's a few things I'll respond to there. So one, going back to the income graph, I want to just call out that, yes, right now in a few urban markets, women are making more than men. So women in DC and New York under 30 are making more than men on average, but in most situations, men are still making more than women, but we're talking about a projection. Going back to the dating research. So yes, it's exactly as you described. What we have right now is there's fewer and fewer men that are hypergamous mates for women. So if there's a much smaller pool of guys, then what you have is you have a bunch of women competing for the same men, and then a bunch of guys get ignored. But what I also see is that those top guys are having a hard time deciding. So I feel like in my coaching practice as a dating coach, I'm working with a lot of women who say, what do I do? I've changed my profile the way you said I should. I took your class, but I still feel like there's just not enough great guys. And then I work with these CEO men who are having such a hard time choosing. And so I think we really have this exacerbated problem where so many women are competing for the same men, and then a bunch of guys are getting ignored. And then what ends up happening is, where do those guys go? And they go online. They go to porn, or they go to Reddit. I mean, I love Reddit, but they're really going to some of these red-pilled communities. And so what you're seeing now is just men really opting out of society. So when you go back to that stat, 1 in 7 young men in the UK is NEET, not an employment, education, or training. They have just opted out.
Here's the real issue. The men many women sleep with are not the same men they actually date. That's where the whole system breaks.
Fellas, get off the dating apps. Get off the dating apps if you want any good results here. Just get off the dating apps. They don't even like y'all on dating apps. They can't stand you guys on dating apps. They complain so much about how bad the dating apps are for them. Leave the dating apps. Just leave. They look for the red flags immediately. They'll screenshot y'all and send it to the best friends. They're doing TikToks of y'all. It's embarrassing for y'all out here. They swipe on 7 out of 100 of y'all. That's how much they don't like you. Get off the dating apps. Save yourself a shit ton of time, stress, and everything else. And get up out here in the wild and go after what you're interested in. Focus on yourself, but develop your interpersonal skills. Get up out in the wild and start going after what you're interested in. Don't let them gamify you anymore, because they're sick of you guys on dating apps. I'm telling you, they complain about you the most, how bad it is out here. Get off. If you have self-respect, you need to get off the dating apps. Don't be sending roses and hearts. They can't stand you more when you send roses and hearts. They get sick. They're like, ugh, he sent me a rose, girl. Yuck. Oh, you think I'm playing? Ask the girls when they get sent the roses. They don't even look at them. It's almost pathetic to them. It's like, yeah, he sent me a rose. They have overwhelming numbers and options on dating apps, and you don't get it. You ain't doing it. You're not having any success on dating apps because you're on dating apps. Get out in the wild. I'm telling you, I promise, this is gonna save you. Your life will be so much better if you just hop your ass off.
Men and women get frustrated by dating apps, but often for different reasons. Men get frustrated because they find it tough to get matches. Women get frustrated because they get too many matches. Men get frustrated because when they reach out, they don't get a reply or they get a lackluster reply. Women get frustrated because men suck at starting intriguing conversations. Men get frustrated when a woman ghosts them after a few days of chatting. Women get frustrated when a man only wants to be pen pals and won't ask her on a date. Men get frustrated when women look really good in profile pics, but not so much in person. And women get frustrated by that as well. I can't help the women, but for you men, I can help. There's a method to the madness. Give me a follow.
Dating apps are incredibly toxic, and hypergamy puts nearly every man at a disadvantage, no matter how good or genuine he is.
Just to let you guys know how low quality these men are on the dating apps, and that they're not really there to find their match. They're just there to play dating with you so they can try and hook up with you. These are what they'll do, and if they do any of these things, they're trash. Don't make the same mistakes I made. I had a guy that would get my seatbelt for me. He picked me up, took me to a restaurant, and then told me that he downloads and uses the apps because he's sexually frustrated. Got it. Another time I was walking to the bathroom, and when I came back, he said, hey, you didn't look very good from the back, but then when you turned around, I was like, oh, she's kind of pretty.
For us to find love.
So I think, well, simple answer is it's definitely added a layer of complication, because now love is treated like shopping. You know, we shop for partners like we shop for shit on Amazon. You know, it's like you scroll through, you find one that looks good, and you click like.
Good reviews.
And good reviews. Look, it's definitely convenient, and it's definitely made life a lot easier. And you never have to deal with rejection because you don't know if they swiped left on you. You just assume that they never saw your picture, right? Like, it doesn't actually say rejected, you know? I think the problem with it is it's grass is always greener because it's so easy, you know, to just go swiping. And, you know, sometimes you treat it like Instagram. You know, I've done this where I've sat in my bed late at night because instead of looking at social media, I'm looking at a dating app, and I'm swiping right, like I'm clicking like on a post, and then it says you're connected. I'm like, ah, damn it, because I don't actually want to like go through the effort of like connecting. I was just liking the post, you know. Scott Galloway talks about this. I can't remember what the numbers are. But the point is there's a massive disparity of men that just don't ever connect. And there's nothing more dangerous in a modern society than a lonely man, right? And if you look at terrorism and if you look at mass homicide and things like that, it's very often a lonely man, you know? And you add in sex and incels and you know the Middle East, for example, you know, it's 25% during the height of terrorism, you know, a bunch of years ago, it was 25% unemployment in the region in a shame-based society where you have young men living at home and who aren't employed and they've never had sex because there's no sex before marriage. And how are you ever going to meet a girl when you live at home and you don't have a job? And then all of a sudden, that stress comes out somewhere. And I think we don't talk about sex and sexuality as a part of our other behaviors. I mean, I for some reason, because we think it's bad to connect, you know, sex life with how people show up in the world. But you take somebody who's sexually frustrated, a sexually frustrated man in their mid to late 20s, and all of that pressure and insecurity and, you know, now desperation, like, it comes out in horrible ways, and the need to exert control comes out in horrible ways. Different conversation.
Exactly. Most of the good men have checked out after being rejected over and over. So, of course, the only ones left on the apps are the extremes, the trash and the chats. The truth is, a lot of women today don't actually want a real relationship. They want someone they can control and unload their negativity onto. That's all for today. If you enjoyed this content, make sure to follow for more. Thanks for watching MGTOW Voice. Show us your love by liking, sharing, and subscribing. Support us and help spread awareness for men around the world. We welcome a healthy debate and discussion, so feel free to comment and share your thoughts.